Hey everyone, welcome to my second tier list video. I just recently made one of these for Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, so if you haven't already seen that one, then make sure to go check it out. But today's list will be for California's Great America, a formerly Cedar Fair, now Six Flags park in Santa Clara, California. This has become essentially my secondary home park, and it encapsulates just everything I love about the theme park. If you want a full review on this park, leave a comment down below, and I will make sure to get one out, hopefully before the park closes. Today's video, however, will just be about the coasters. We have 6 ranks on our list, ranging from F tier, as in I wouldn't ride it again if I was just in the park on my own, to S tier, which includes elite, top quality rides that are some of my absolute favorite coasters. At our last place spot in F tier, we have Lucy's Krabby Cabbies. So this is a kiddie coaster, so I mean, like, what can you expect? It's gonna be F tier. It's built by E&F Myler, which is a pretty small kiddie coaster manufacturer, and the layout is basically just some turns and bunny hills, and then the ride's over. And I'm very sorry to my friend who thinks that this is the best coaster in the world, but yeah, this belongs in F tier. At number 8 in the park, staying in F tier is yet another kiddie coaster, Woodstock Express. Now this one stands a bit taller and has more of a layout than Lucy's Krabby Cabbies. It basically has a shallow drop, a slow turn after that, a helix, and some small dips to end the ride. Overall, it's still a kiddie family coaster and doesn't provide any real thrills. Coming in at number 7, our last F tier ride in the park is Grizzly. This is a wooden coaster built by Kings Island? Yeah, that's a little weird, but you can really tell this was not built by a real manufacturer. For one, this coaster is not smooth at all. Like, it's not super rough like an SLC, but it's definitely a bit shaky in the valleys. In addition to being kinda rough, this coaster's layout is just plain boring. It's pretty much just a shallow drop, then some slow turns, and mostly airtimeless hills. The most intense part of the ride is a weird lateral jolt going into one of the turns, which will just slam you into the person next to you. At number 6, moving up to D tier, is Psycho Mouse. So D tier has basically just become the Wild Mouse tier, and you will see a lot of them end up here in future tier lists. Psycho Mouse is slightly better than the coasters we've just talked about, cause it's a little less boring than all of them. And I mean, it has some decent laterals over the hairpin turns, and some like okay drops, but it's nothing really special, and this ride also runs with really bad capacity. Like, I'm pretty sure they can only run one 4-person train on the layout at once. At our 5th place spot, staying in D tier, is Demon. Now this is a classic aero looper with a pretty simple layout consisting of 2 vertical loops, a slowish turnaround, 2 corkscrews, another slow turnaround, and then the brake run. This ride has some awkward transitions, like most aero coasters, and the vertical loops are kinda rough for some reason, but this ride's inversions are relatively intense, which holds this coaster back from being an F tier ride. Coming in at number 4, in C tier, we have Patriot, a B&M floorless coaster. This used to be a stand-up coaster called Vortex, and the trains have since been swapped to the more comfortable floorless trains. This ride pretty much just feels like the second half of a larger scale floorless coaster, such as Medusa at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, or Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando. It only has 2 inversions, which are a loop and a corkscrew, and under 2,000 feet of track, which is pretty short. And some say this ride has a lot of headbanging, but I found it to be a decently smooth coaster, and the corkscrew really surprised me with how whippy it was in the back row. Cracking our top 3, in A tier, we have Flight Deck, a B&M invert. Now this may come as a surprise to some, but I actually don't believe that there are any B tier coasters in this park. And this is because CGA's supporting lineup is not great, but their top 3 really stands out. And Flight Deck is the definition of short but sweet. This is one of the oldest B&M inverts, and also, I think, the shortest, but the layout more than makes up for it. This coaster is pretty intense. After the first drop, Flight Deck navigates a vertical loop straight into a helix, which sometimes makes me gray out. Following this, it goes through 2 very snappy inversions, being a 0-0 on a corkscrew, and then really finishes strong with its final helix right over the water, which is my favorite part of the ride. At number 2, in S tier, we have Gold Striker. Yes, this park does actually have 2 S tier rides in my opinion, making it better than Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. Now, Gold Striker is one of the best GCI wooden coasters in the world. This coaster has an amazing twister layout, starting with a twisted first drop that gives some good airtime if you sit in the back row. Then goes into a bunny hill, and then lots of hard turns and airtime hills with great ejector airtime throughout the ride. However, there is one moment where you really feel the roughness, which is this S hill about halfway through the ride, and it just violently tosses you side to side. This ride could definitely use a retracking, but it doesn't really bother me that much. This ride has an amazing sense of speed, and is definitely one of my favorite wooden coasters. Finally, at number 1 in S tier is Railblazer. Now this is an RMC Raptor, and it is undoubtedly the best ride in the park. A lot of people would say it's too short, but to me that isn't much of a problem, considering this ride has a world-class layout. The ride is just so intense and feels like it's running way too fast the whole time. It has 3 insane airtime moments, the first of these being the first drop. Now this drop is special because you build up speed on the turnaround coming off the lift. Then in the back you get absolutely whipped over that main drop, which is 100 feet tall and sloped at 90 degrees. Following the drop, there's a dive loop with airtime in the front rows? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then an off-axis airtime hill, which delivers insane ejector to every row. The ride then goes into an intense turnaround with, you guessed it, more airtime, especially in the back row. Finally, there's a snappy-ish cutback and a flowy 0G roll to end the ride. Railblazer is full of ejector airtime and fun inversions, making it my favorite ride at California's Great America. Alright everyone, thank you for watching today's video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, since it would really help out the channel, and let me know if there are any other parks that you would want me to make a ranking for, or maybe some ideas for different videos entirely. See you guys next time.